salary caps. Okay, big thing we've talked about. We talked about the championship salary caps. The idea got scrapped, so we were happy about that because I don't think it helps balance it. Or
No.
we've already talked about how financial fair play is already a bit flawed in its own system. This would just make it worse. Now, the salary cap in League 1 and 2 has been scrapped by the looks of it. So this is from Sky as well, sourcing a lot of the quotes saying, EFL salary cap for League 1 and League 2 withdrawn following arbitration panel verdict.
Now, the interesting thing with this panel, it seems like it's the same kind of panel that did all for the points thing. So it's an independent panel.
Yeah, so wasn't the independent panel the one that took us to 6?
Yep.
Rather than 12. So this independent panel seems to have clubs' best interests. I guess because it's an independent panel, the panels will change. But they have seemed to work in clubs' best interests by the looks of it, the way they've been going so far with our points deduction, with our points reduction, sorry. Oh, that's a name for an album. And obviously now the salary cap in League 1 and 2. From the Sunderland Echo, they said, and quote, as a result of the successful challenge, let's try that one again. As a result of the successful challenge, League 1 clubs will revert to less stringent salary cost management protocols for the time being. Those rules say that a club can only spend 60% of its turnover on wages, but owners can inject equity to support turnover. So what that means is currently, these aren't the new rules, by the way, these are the rules that currently are. You can only spend 60% of your wages in League 1 and 2, 60% of your overall turnover, that's your wages. It means clubs don't get too big for it. It doesn't really work if you get dodgy owners, but the whole point of the EFL's sort of background checks are meant to make sure you've got owners that can back it up. Injecting equity to support turnover is exactly what should be able to happen in a club, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Financial fair play makes that difficult anyway, because you can't make a certain amount of losses. You forget with this salary cap getting scrapped, there's still financial fair play in the mix of it, so you still can't make the certain losses. If that 60% wages and turnover thing happened, Wednesday wouldn't be in the situation we'd have now.
No.
Chansiri, I mean, we'd have probably rolled the dice a few more times and just kept chucking money at it until something stuck. Because look at Wolves, they did it right. They chucked money at it, and they'd have been in a world of trouble if it hadn't worked, and it worked.
Yeah.
And now they're established, and now they're a decent Prem side. So
this is the thing. When Chansiri rolled the dice, he went for it. Fair play to him. He gambled, and in the Championship, you do have to a little bit gamble. You have to sometimes gamble. It's very rare you get clubs that go up that haven't bent over the odds, who haven't kind of broke the FFP. Like one of the clubs that I think everyone remember with their famous takeover. Remember Blackburn and the Venkeys? Now,
I do vaguely.
The Venkeys have now just put another 7 million into Blackburn.
Yeah,
and they're still the owners of Blackburn. This whole thing, we might be in the rough patch with Chansiri now, but if things go right, if Blackburn can turn it around like they have done, then they are established and they stick to they know what their limits are. Kind of thing.
I don't know. I don't know much about the Blackburn situation, but it is interesting to see, because there's a lot of clubs that have fallen and rose again and done it right and had a go again, and there is a chance that we could have a go again with these situations. And now, the reason we bring in this up is obviously it's not Championship related, but there is a chance still, we're 21st, potentially in the relegation zone by the time of this podcast, where Wednesday could drop to League 1. And we were saying that with a salary cap in there, say goodbye to everybody and we'd be in trouble, So now there is a chance that if we've got some assets that are on they're human beings, but, we've got some player assets. You can tell I'm reading business sheets here and business quotes referring to people as assets. But if we've got some players that are on wages that would be aggressive for us in League 1 and we'd have had to ship them off, there is a chance that if we are looking to bounce straight back up, we could loan some of them and tide our way through until the next season, basically, and try and get back up. Obviously, a lot of people will be wanting to see a clear out if we get relegated, especially. I understand that probably still will happen, but it puts us in a situation where,
to be fair,
I was always saying it'd be financial doom.
We'll have a little bit of a clear out anyway, won't we? When you look at how many players.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Obviously, 19 players out of contract. Yes, they can still sign contracts. I think some people need to realise that that's what we were saying. We want some to sign contracts, but 19 players could leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we did drop, which I hope it's not a situation for us, but I was always saying it's going to be financial doom because the League One's changed so much with the salary caps. This just relieves
Helps
a little bit of that pressure.
Yeah.
If we can, but it still wouldn't be a great thing because you'd lose your turnover. Chancery couldn't keep charging the same prices he's been charging.
I think it's 8 million you lose in TV revenue.
Yeah, which is not a lot compared to like the Prem's 130 million packages, things like that. But it's definitely a chunk of change for financial fair play.
It's a lot when you think that at the current moment you're not allowed fans in.
Yeah,
and we don't know how long that's going to be a thing.
And also, if we did drop, just look at Wigan, currently 21st in League One. This is the worrying thing because our parallels with Wigan are starting to get a little bit. We didn't go into admin yet, but they're currently 21st in League One. They're about to double drop. They're going to be another one of those sides that's been at the top league, done a drop. Yeah, exactly. They could be a League One team. Could Wednesday be another one of them? We have got to hope. And this is why I'm saying, don't start abusing everybody on the ownership and things like that. I understand you want the club run properly, but for the love of God, if we get somebody coming in and cuts their losses and shuts it down, or we go into admin, if Chancery is still owner of the club, but he loses all interest in it and just lets us plummet, we could be one of those clubs, because then he could just walk away from it. We could be into admin, things like that. And I don't like the idea of dropping down to that league. No. But if we did, hopefully without a salary cap and things like that, we could retain some players and give it a bit of a push. We've got obviously youth coming through. So it's not as bleak if we drop now. However, it's still going to be pretty bad.